Travis, you touched on your fight with Brendan Schaub. It was obviously a great performance, by the way. Schaub later on would guest Joe Rogan's podcast, where Rogan was brutally honest.
That was a tough one.
Could you just what were your thoughts on what Rogan said about Schaub? Because he seemed to be generally worried about his health.
Yeah, I think after listening to that, I spoke with my best friend who, if there's anybody in the world to have a conversation with me like that, if that were to take place, it would be him.
Yeah.
My best friend, his name's Josh Barton, and he pulled me aside. He's like, you know what, man, I would probably, if that happened to you, the way that you handled him, if you got handled like that, I might be having the same conversation with you. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Tough part about it is in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
Maybe not televised, but on his podcast, and it went viral. That's something where you just got your ass whooped, and then on top of that, somebody's pouring some salt in the wound, not behind closed doors, but publicly, you know what I mean? Because it would be hard for my best friend, for Josh to tell me that, to talk to me like that in closed doors. I would probably want to punch him in the face too. But this was on a podcast. This was public, and that's just something tough to hear in general, not let alone being public,
Do you think that was inappropriate of Joe Rogan to do so?
That's their relationship. If I go to Joe Rogan and I talk to him right after a loss like that, I better be ready to hear the brutal truth. So I think he set himself up. Whether there's things saying that he invited him or he didn't invite him and this and that and whatever. If I'm going on the radio with somebody like Joe Rogan, I don't know Joe like Brendan knows Joe, but I know what I'd be getting myself into. So I would, based off of that, I would either say yes or no. And I probably wouldn't. If I was in his shoes, I wouldn't have gone on there. I'd been like, no, not today. Maybe another time. But I'm not going to open myself up to that,